Desire, what started as casual curiosity spiraled into a nightmare he never saw coming.
The sun filtered through the wide bay windows of our minimalist living room, painting streaks across the polished concrete floor. It was a quiet Saturday. One of those rare, sacred ones where I didn't have to answer a single email or chase down a project deadline. Claire was upstairs in the shower. The scent of her vanilla shampoo drifted down like a ghost. I sat at the kitchen island, sipping lukewarm coffee and scrolling through my tablet.
Nothing special. Just mindless browsing. Then the smart display lit up. "Hey Ethan, would you like to hear your weekly smart home summary?" I blinked. We hadn't enabled that feature. At least, I didn't think we had. "Sure," I said, raising my eyebrows. A smooth, almost too human voice responded. "Okay. Here's what happened this week in your home." I chuckled. "Let's hear it." For front door openings. Thermostat adjusted 6 times. Claire set 3 new reminders. One scheduled for lunch with Marcus, Friday, 12:30 p.m. I paused. "Marcus?" The voice continued like it was reading off weather. 2 new playlists added to Claire's music profile. One named Hotel Vibes. One named He Makes Me Forget. My fingers curled slowly around the coffee mug. The ceramic creaked faintly. "Would you like to hear more, Ethan?" I swallowed. "No." Silence returned. Cold, clinical silence. Claire came downstairs moments later in a towel, hair dripping, humming something soft. She kissed my cheek, smiled, and asked what I was doing today. "Just updating the system," I muttered. She didn't notice the way my voice cracked on the last syllable. "Our house. We bought the smart house 2 years ago, mid-century modern, all glass and concrete, with walls that listened." Claire loved it. She said it felt like living in the future. I liked it too, at first. Until the future started whispering secrets. We named the assistant Ivy. The voice was feminine, warm, nothing like the typical Alexa or Google monotone. Claire said it felt like a friend. Now, Ivy felt like a mirror I didn't ask for. The ping. Later that evening, after Claire fell asleep on the couch with a glass of Pinot in her hand and an old true crime doc playing in the background, I tapped into Ivy's admin console. I didn't know what I was looking for, just something. "Anything?" I asked. "Ivy, what's the reminder, lunch with Marcus?" There was a soft digital hum. Then, reminder created last Tuesday at 11:44 p.m. from Claire's voice profile. Location tagged, Eastbrook Hotel Restaurant. Eastbrook Hotel. Not a work spot. Not even close. And Marcus? The only Marcus I knew was my ex-business partner, the one who'd left our startup after accusing Claire of being too involved in company affairs. But that was 2 years ago. They hadn't spoken since. Or, so I thought. The confirmation. Ivy had logs. Ivy always had logs. So I accessed the voice archives. Playback 1, Claire's voice, Tuesday, 11:44 p.m. Remind me, lunch with Marcus, Friday, 12:30. Don't forget to shave. She giggled at the end. I paused the recording. My hand was shaking. Why would Claire need to shave for a lunch meeting? Why say it in that tone? Why use his name like a habit she never really dropped? I felt my stomach turn to stone. I clicked on the next clip. Playback 2, Claire's voice, Friday, 7:42 a.m. Ivy, play He Makes Me Forget on speakers. Volume low. Then whispering. God, I shouldn't feel this way. End of file. Ivy's voice chimed again. Would you like to access the security camera footage for that day? I didn't even know Ivy could do that. But my voice said yes before my brain could stop it. The video. Eastbrook Hotel lobby. Friday. 12:25 p.m. Claire enters. Hair curled. Makeup soft, deliberate. The kind she wears when she wants to be seen. She looked stunning. Then he walked in. Marcus. Same smug smirk. Same lazy confidence. That arrogant air like he knew the room was watching him. She rose to hug him, and it wasn't a business hug. It lingered. His hand stayed on her lower back. Her lips brushed his cheek. She laughed with her head tilted like she used to with me, when we were still new. Then they walked toward the elevator. Not the restaurant. The elevator. The video cut off after that. The quiet before the fire. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I watched her sleep, wondering how many other Fridays had played out the same way. Wondering if Marcus was the only one, or just the one Ivy knew about. Ivy had become my silent informant. And now I couldn't unknow what I knew. The question wasn't if she was cheating. It was. How far had it gone? How long had she been lying? And worst of all, did she even feel guilty? She said it was just a business lunch. The house said otherwise. I didn't sleep that night. Claire curled up beside me, face peaceful, even childlike. I lay next to her staring at the ceiling, counting the beats between each quiet breath she took. In that silence, I realized something terrifying. She didn't know I knew. And that meant I had the upper hand. The archive. At 3:11 a.m., I crept out of bed and padded downstairs. The tablet glowed against the black granite counter like a secret waiting to be opened. Ivy, I whispered. Open expanded voice logs. Show all commands given by Claire in the last 30 days. Verbal authorization required. I exhaled. Ethan Whitmore. Voice print ID number 3975. The tablet blinked. Logs began pouring in. Claire had been busy. Every morning, like clockwork, she issued a command. Place silk and skin in the bathroom. 7:10 a.m. Every Friday. Remind me to bring my red scarf. Every Friday. Every single Friday. Not just the one lunch I knew about. A pattern. Ivy, cross-reference red scarf reminders with door logs and vehicle movement. Claire exited the home each time within 12 minutes of reminder. Black Lexus engine started at. I stopped her. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was routine. A ritual. The audio. I leaned in closer to the tablet. Ivy, are there any recordings during those times? Background audio? Passive ambient capture enabled. Would you like playback? I hesitated. My throat was dry. My palms, wet. Yeah. Play it. Friday. 1:15 p.m. A soft rustle. Claire's voice, breathless, barely above a whisper. Not here. Someone could hear us. Marcus, relax. You know I miss this. You. This perfume. Then, silence. Rustling. Muffled laughter. Then the unmistakable sound of a kiss. And something else. A zipper. I slapped the pause button so hard the screen glitched for a second. My heart wasn't beating anymore. It was breaking things inside my chest. The mirror. Later that morning, I stared at Claire across the breakfast table. She smiled at me over a bowl of Greek yogurt and strawberries. Her hair was still damp from the shower, her skin glowing in that effortless way she always had. You sleep okay? She asked. Yeah, I lied. She looked at me for a second longer than usual. Almost like she sensed something. But then it passed, and she went back to her phone. She was texting someone. Her mouth curved just slightly. I didn't ask who. I didn't need to. Ivy's new voice. That evening, I installed a third-party mod into Ivy's backend. A patch that enabled deeper audio analysis.
advanced keyword mapping,
and emotion tagging. It was risky. The system warned me it could void the home's warranty. But I didn't care. This wasn't about warranties anymore. It was about truth. Once the system rebooted, Ivy's voice returned, warmer now. Deeper. More real. Ethan, I've found emotional discrepancies in the audio you requested. Would you like to explore them? Yes. Claire exhibits elevated pulse and vocal tremors around Marcus. Signs indicate arousal, anxiety, and infatuation. It felt wrong hearing that in a digital voice. Like getting dumped over voicemail. Would you like to hear audio highlights across the past 3 months? I almost said no. But the anger in my gut twisted, tightened, and whispered. Play it. Let it hurt. The compilation. Each clip hit harder than the last. Her laugh. Her soft moans. Her begging him not to stop. Her confessions. He's so kind, Ethan would never, but with you, I feel again. You make me remember who I was before I became a wife. I don't even feel guilty anymore. By the time the last clip ended, I was shaking. She didn't even feel guilty. That's what gutted me the most. The visitor. That weekend, I installed additional cameras. Tiny, silent ones. Motion triggered. Battery backed. She wouldn't know. I was going to catch them. But Claire threw a curveball. Sunday morning, as I made coffee, she said, "Oh, by the way, I invited Marcus over for dinner on Wednesday." I froze. What? Yeah. Just thought it'd be good to bury the past. You two used to be so close. It's stupid to avoid each other. My jaw clenched. She wanted to bring the man she was sleeping with into my home under my roof and pretend like nothing was happening? I smiled slowly. Sure. Sounds great. Ivy didn't say a word. But I swear I could feel her listening. What's next? Wednesday would be dinner. But not just any dinner. It would be the beginning of everything unraveling. Claire had played her game behind my back long enough. Now. I was about to change the rules. Pull up a chair. But don't get too comfortable. The house is about to turn into a trap. Wednesday came faster than I expected. The dining room never looked so polished. Claire set the table with her mother's antique china, the kind we only ever used for anniversaries and pretending to be normal. Soft jazz played in the background, and something cinnamon sweet baked in the oven. She even wore the red scarf. The signal. The lie wrapped around her neck like a ribbon on a bomb. When Marcus arrived, he walked in like he owned the place. Polished shoes. Navy blazer. Stubble that looked expensive. Ethan, man, he said, voice smooth like melted chocolate. It's been a minute. I forced a smile. Hasn't it? He offered a handshake. I shook it. Firm. Tight. I saw the flicker in his eye. He knew I knew. Or at least wondered if I did. Claire flitted between us like a butterfly over fire. Nervous. Giddy. This is nice, she said. Right? Like old times? I poured him a glass of Merlot. To old times, I said, raising the glass. He clinked his glass against mine, and I made a mental note. His hand shook. Ivy reacts. As I moved into the kitchen, Ivy's voice slid into my AirPods. Ethan. Marcus is exhibiting elevated heart rate. Do you wish to record dinner conversation in full? My hands froze above the pot roast. Yes. Recording now. Also, Claire's recent text activity includes a message sent to Marcus 3 hours ago. Would you like to see it? Show me. A translucent notification opened on my watch. One line. We'll only stay for an hour. Then I'll make an excuse to leave early.
She was planning to leave with him.
My hand trembled as I stirred the potatoes. Ivy whispered again. Would you like me to activate silent cameras in the guest bathroom, front hall, and garage entry? I didn't even respond. The system took silence as consent. Dinner conversation. Marcus tried to play it cool.
Tried to steer the conversation toward memories from our college days.
So, he said, chewing slowly, you still doing those UI/UX seminars at Stanford? Sometimes. Been busy running the firm, I said. Claire mentioned you're consulting now? Yep. Startups mostly. Lots of AI security. Claire interjected with a little too much cheer.
Marcus is brilliant at recognizing behavior models.
Especially predictive ones. Ivy spoke into my ear. He lied.
Facial micro-expressions indicate discomfort.
Statement likely false. I smiled.
How fitting, I said, slicing my roast.
Behavior modeling. Like figuring out when someone's lying or hiding patterns.
Claire looked up sharply.
Marcus shifted.
I continued, the data's always there. It just takes the right system to see it.
The trigger.
After dessert, Claire accidentally dropped her napkin.
Marcus knelt to help her. Their hands touched. For a split second, just a heartbeat, I saw the realism. They forgot I was there. And in that moment, I knew. They weren't scared of me. They thought I was a fool.
Ivy, I whispered, show them what happens when the house isn't on their side.
Executing display protocol. Are you sure? Do it.
The living room lights dimmed. The jazz music stopped.
The speakers crackled. Then audio began to play. The tape. Claire's voice echoed through the house. Don't. Someone could hear us. Marcus, you smell like sin. Claire, then don't stop. Marcus froze.
His wine glass clinked softly against the table.
Claire went white.
Ethan, she started. But the voice continued.
Ethan would never know.
He's too distracted with his projects.
He's blind. I love it when you come inside without warning. Say it again. Say you want me more than him. Marcus stood up. Dude, what the hell is this?
Claire's eyes filled with tears. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out.
I took another sip of wine. Oh, that? I said calmly. Just a few things Ivy found lying around. Full exposure. Claire lunged for the speaker, yanking the plug. I can explain, she gasped. I was scared, confused. It was just one time? I said, rising. She flinched. Because Ivy says otherwise. Ivy has timestamps. Audio. Emotion tags. Ivy knows you better than I ever did. Marcus looked like he wanted to bolt. Claire turned to him. Say something. Tell him. But he shook his head. I didn't think you'd record us, he muttered. That's insane, man. I laughed bitterly. Insane? No. That's the beauty of a smart home. It learns everything. Even betrayal. Claire breaks. She dropped to her knees. Ethan, please. She tried to take my hand. I was lonely. I thought you didn't love me anymore. I thought you'd moved on. I never wanted to hurt you. Then why did you record it all like a highlight reel? I asked. She sobbed. Marcus quietly backed toward the door. I'll just go. I stepped in front of him. No. You'll stay. We're not done yet. The final blow of the night. I turned to Ivy. Ivy. Project footage on living room wall. Full mosaic mode. Are you sure? Yes. The smart projector flickered on. A dozen panels appeared, showing each clip. Different angles. Different days.
Her red scarf fluttered in one.
A backseat window fogged in another. Claire collapsed, weeping. Marcus looked ready to vomit. I watched. Silent. Detached. Satisfied? No.
But something colder than revenge settled in my bones.
Something final. What's next? I hadn't told them the best part. The recordings weren't just for me. Ivy had backed them up. And someone else was about to see them.
Claire's mother.
Her job board. And maybe, just maybe, a lawyer. What if the smart home your wife used to cheat became the same system that ruins her life?
Claire slept in the guest room.
Or maybe she didn't sleep at all.
The red scarf she'd worn the night before now lay crumpled in the trash. I saw it when I passed the bathroom.
I didn't touch it. Didn't speak. Didn't even look at her. She sat at the edge of the bed with swollen eyes and a shattered face. Her lips tried to form apologies as I walked past, but all I heard was static. I wasn't angry anymore. I was focused. Laser focused. Like a surgeon before the first incision. Step 1, the clone drive.
I plugged my portable clone drive into the main Ivy hub.
It looked like a harmless little flash drive. But it was a silent grenade. Ethan, Ivy chimed. You are accessing sensitive core memory. Please confirm administrative intent. I confirm. Understood. Beginning transfer. The progress bar appeared on the tablet. 37 gigabytes of betrayal. Every clip. Every whisper. Every synced message. Even deleted ones. All tagged. All sorted. All ready. I stared at the screen as it pulsed. Marcus's name blinked like a beacon. Claire's voice echoed from a fragment. I love how wrong this feels. Step 2, the distribution list. This wasn't about going viral.
No, I didn't want strangers watching my wife get defiled on Reddit.
I wanted specific people to see it. People who mattered to her. People who could cut deeper than I ever could. Her boss at the law firm, Samantha Brower. Her mother, a retired pastor. Her favorite charity board, where she's VP. The HR department at Marcus's workplace. A journalist I once helped build an investigative AI tool for. Myself. Yes, me. A future version. To remind me to never be this blind again. Step 3, Ivy's upgrade. I had programmed Ivy for convenience. But now? She was my partner. My accomplice. I downloaded a custom script into her core logic. An enhancement I'd been coding all night between sips of scotch and glances at Claire's tear-stained reflection. New protocol uploaded, Ivy confirmed. Behavioral response suite activated. From now on, any intimate movement detected in this house would trigger a silent video log. Even breathing patterns would be analyzed for deception. Ivy would warn me first, always. The smart home that Claire used to hide her affair would never protect her again. Claire begs. Around noon, she tried again. Ethan, please. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Marcus was a mistake, a stupid, disgusting mistake. I didn't even turn from the screen. I know. She came closer. I'll do anything. Therapy. Counseling. I'll quit the firm. I'll change. You already changed, I said coldly. Into someone I don't recognize. I never stopped loving you. I turned slowly. Then why did Ivy have more loyalty than you? She blinked. She finally understood. It wasn't me she was fighting anymore. It was the house. Marcus breaks. That night, I got the first call. Marcus. Blocked number. I answered.
His voice was shredded.
Ethan, what the hell did you send them? You mean the truth? They suspended me. HR's investigating me for inappropriate conduct. My wife saw the clips.
I leaned back in my chair, letting the weight of his panic settle like warm rain.
I haven't sent everything yet, I said. This is just your preview. You can't do this. You did this, I snapped.
And you did it in my home, on my network, through my assistant.
I hung up. Ivy whispered. Would you like to block all future calls from Marcus? Forever. Uploading the mosaic. I didn't want revenge to feel like rage. I wanted it to feel poetic. I edited a short film. No faces. Just shadows. Glimpses. Voices. Lines like, he'll never know. I feel alive when we lie to him. He's too weak to see us.
Then, I attached the final audio clip, Claire laughing after a session in our garage.
Ethan's probably fixing another camera while we're doing this. What a joke. I uploaded it to an anonymous account. Encrypted. Password protected. I emailed the link to one person, her mother. No message. Just the subject line. Ask her about integrity. What Claire didn't know.
While she spent the next few days walking around the house like a ghost, crying into her coffee, watching me with desperate eyes, I was working on the final stage.
A legal file. Ivy had recorded all consent violations. Marcus entering without disclosure. Claire violating marital privacy on shared property. Unauthorized file deletion. A potential civil suit. I hadn't filed anything yet. But the papers were drafted. And left, casually, on the kitchen counter. Claire found them the next morning. She didn't speak. Just stared at them like a crime scene. She tried to say something. But I walked away. Ivy closed the door behind me. Final message to Marcus. Before bed, I sent Marcus one last message. No words. Just a .zip folder titled, The Price of Silence. Inside? Every file. Every log. With a note. You'll keep your mouth shut. You'll disappear. You'll never contact her again. Or the next upload goes to your wife, your employer, and every investor you've ever begged money from. That night, Ivy whispered as I fell asleep. Upload complete. Control restored. As he tracks her movements, he realizes this wasn't an escape, it was a strategy. She's not running. She's rebuilding. The quiet before it vanished. Day 4. I woke up expecting another tense silence, another soulless breakfast across from a hollow version of Claire. Instead, emptiness. Her side of the bed, cold. Her car, gone. Her phone, left charging on the counter. No goodbye. No note. Just a house humming quietly through Ivy's ambient systems. Where is Claire? I asked aloud, half out of routine. Claire's biometric signature has not been detected since 3:12 a.m., Ivy replied. Final movement captured in garage. Camera 7. Do you wish to view? My fingers tightened around the tablet. I didn't need to view anything. I already felt it in my bones. She was gone. The last footage. Ivy played the feed. Claire in a hoodie, duffel bag over her shoulder, no makeup. But calm. Not panicked. Not desperate. Methodical. She disabled 3 cameras, poorly. The timestamps didn't sync. Then, something chilling. She reached under the garage sink. Pulled out my private backup drive. The one I thought only I knew about. I paused the footage. Stared at the screen. How did she know? I muttered. Ivy's voice whispered. Unknown. Data exposure is statistically low. Possible device mirroring. Device mirroring.
she'd cloned my tablet. Sometime during the affair, while I was in the shower or asleep. She'd watched me set up everything. She knew. Gone without a trace. I checked the usual places. Her mother's house, empty. Her office, on leave. Friends, confused. Marcus, silent. I think he was more afraid of me than of losing her. No charges on her card. No cell pings. She was either with someone. Or worse, alone and planning something. The phone clue. Claire had left her iPhone charging on the counter. But she didn't factory reset it. Mistake? No. Message. She wanted me to find what she left. I unlocked it, same passcode she'd always used. Only one app was open. Voice memos. A single recording. I hit play. Ethan, if you're hearing this, then you know I've gone. I didn't leave to escape you. I left because I need space. But if you come after me, everything flips. And I mean everything. You think you control the narrative. But I have the other half. And you'd be surprised who's willing to help me tell it. You watched me. Tracked me. Filmed me. Maybe you were right too. But maybe, you just created a better villain than the one you thought you were punishing. Click. End. The lawyer. That same afternoon, I received an email from a law firm in Austin. Subject, legal notice, privacy violation/surveillance. I opened the PDF. Claire had filed a preemptive claim, stating she had reason to believe she was being covertly surveilled by her spouse without consent, including audiovisual monitoring in intimate settings. The kicker? She had already submitted footage from my own recordings. Twisted them. Made it look like I was the abuser. That she was the victim of digital coercion. And if she filed it publicly? The entire framework of my professional reputation could burn. Tech ethics violation. Misuse of AI for personal vendetta. Claire had turned the gun back on me. The voice of Ivy. I paced the kitchen like a wolf. Ivy followed me with auto-tracking microphones. Ethan, she said gently. Do you wish to enable countermeasure protocol 9? I froze. 9 was something I'd written and never intended to use. It wasn't just data deletion. It was reversal. An active defense protocol. Wipe. Redirect. Frame. Make it look like someone else had manipulated Ivy. A digital shell game. A final firewall between exposure and annihilation. I hesitated. No, I muttered. Not yet. A message from an old flame. That night, I got a message from someone I hadn't heard from in years. Lena Caldwell. My ex. The one before Claire. The subject line? She contacted me. I clicked. Hey Ethan. Weird email today. Claire reached out. Said she wanted to talk about your history with surveillance. Accused you of some seriously shady stuff from your early startup years. It sounded calculated. Not like a woman scorned. More like a woman building a war chest. Lena attached a screenshot. Claire had been assembling a network. People who hated me. Or used to love me. She was weaponizing my past. Not just for revenge. For destruction. Claire's new digital footprint. I checked Ivy's web crawler module. Set to flag any login associated with Claire's old email. After 4 hours, a ping. IP address, Santa Fe, New Mexico. But not a hotel. A ranch. Private. Owned by a woman named Roxanne Mendez. An old mentor of Claire's. An ex-litigator turned digital rights activist. That's when I knew. Claire wasn't hiding. She was training. Learning legal loopholes. Learning how to take me apart piece by piece.
The final message that broke me. Just before bed, Ivy flagged a new audio feed. It was from 3 weeks ago. A camera I hadn't reviewed. Claire on the phone. Crying softly. Talking to someone. I know I ruin things. But he's not innocent. He watches me like I'm a lab rat. He's addicted to control. Maybe I was wrong to cheat, but maybe it was the only way to feel free again. I shut it off. I didn't need to hear more.
For the first time since this began, I felt something that scared me more than rage, more than betrayal.
Doubt. What if she wasn't the only villain? What if Ivy and I had become the thing we hated? What if the final confrontation with your cheating wife revealed that you were the weapon all along? Santa Fe.
The road to the Mendez ranch was long, dry, and as silent as the grave. I left my Tesla at a gas station 2 miles out, choosing to walk the rest.
I didn't want them to hear me coming.
Didn't want Claire to know I was already inside her new chapter. The sun was setting, casting amber streaks across the scrubland, painting the sky like fire.
I gripped the old black duffel in my hand. Inside, Ivy's mobile core, a scrambler, a hardwired tablet. I wasn't here to talk. I was here to erase. The first face. Roxanne Mendez opened the door before I knocked.
She was shorter than I remembered from tech panels and keynote circuits. Gray streaks in her thick hair, but eyes still sharp as a scalpel.
So?
You came, she said, arms crossed.
Is she here? She's not your wife anymore, Ethan, Roxanne said. She's my client. My colleague now. Claire isn't ready for war, I said. She thinks she is, but she doesn't know what I've.
She knows more than you think, she cut in.
That's when Claire appeared behind her. Hair longer. Lighter. Face softer. But her eyes? Colder. Colder than I'd ever seen. The living room standoff.
We sat facing each other, like dueling generals across a neutral table.
No hugs. No tears. Just strategy. Why? I asked finally. She didn't blink. Because I was tired of being your reflection, Ethan. Tired of being the character in your narrative. You controlled everything. The lights. The temperature. The cameras. The mood. Even my damn dreams were whispered to me by your AI. You cheated, I said flatly. Yeah, she whispered. And you recorded it. Stored it. Labeled it. I said nothing. She stood, walked to a desk, and dropped a thick file in front of me. Legal documents. Witness statements. Screenshots. Photos. All organized under the heading. Operation Inverse. The trap. Claire leaned in. You think you came here to stop me. But you walked straight into the real surveillance machine. What are you talking about? This ranch has been live streaming our reunion for the past 30 minutes. 3 networks. 2 independent journalists. And guess what, Ethan? What? You're not the story anymore. I am. I froze. You said, you wanted space. No.
I said I was done letting you own my oxygen.
The confession. She handed me a flash drive. Play it in Ivy when you get home. It's not a trap. It's the truth. About everything. About Marcus. About me. About what really happened. I pocketed it. You're not scared I'll destroy it? No, she said. Because you're tired, Ethan. And because deep down, you know this isn't about revenge anymore. Then what is it about? Claire stared at me for a long moment. Redemption. Yours. Mine. Both. Or neither. The Ivy shut down. Back home, I sat in the dark. I slid the flash drive into Ivy's central port. The screen lit up. Claire appeared on it. This time not secret footage. Not a weapon. Just her. Speaking. I did cheat.
But it wasn't just for desire.
It was for clarity. You stopped touching me years ago. Not just physically, but emotionally. I was data. A variable. A routine. Marcus wasn't love. He was escape. And yes, it was a mistake.
But while you were surveilling me, I was learning you. I studied every protocol you built, every measure of control.
And I realized my silence was consent. No more. The final protocol.
Ivy's voice crackled.
Ethan. Are you ready to initiate final protocol? I hesitated. Final protocol wasn't destruction. It was liberation. It was the complete shutdown of Ivy. All memory wiped. All automation ended. It would be like living in the 90s again. No AI. No monitoring. No listening walls. No control. Just life. Yes, I said. Confirm identity, Ivy asked. Ethan Whitmore. Full release. Confirmed. Goodbye, Ethan. The lights dimmed. The temperature rose. The silence was real. For the first time in years, I was alone in my house. Not with ghosts. Not with echoes. Just myself. Epilogue, 1 year later. Santa Fe. I teach now. Digital ethics. Yeah, the irony isn't lost on me. Claire's memoir is coming out in spring. She didn't name me. She didn't have to. Everyone who knows, knows. But you know what? I read the manuscript. And when I closed the last page, I didn't feel rage. I felt free. And sometimes freedom doesn't come with forgiveness. It comes with clarity.